Thank you everyone for joining the tape review, meeting. So today with the Incorporeal existence. It's a famous tape too, and it's used for a book, as Glenn told me. So this tape we use in the meditation, this tape we use as where we're listening to, and also are preparing us for in between. Like there are some parts that are really interesting to take a look at. But first we always start with silence. So I'm happy that you're here, that we can sink back into what is real and forget about what is not real, what is temporal, what is behind us, and what is not even in front of us, what is imagined in front of us. But is that really going to happen? No, probably not. So in other words, we have every opportunity here to become present here now in this moment together, whether it's morning, whether it's afternoon or evening, or in the middle of the night that you hear this. Like this is the time to leave behind what is not now, to literally allow yourself to have full entrance into what is a real moment, and that can only be now. That doesn't change. That doesn't change, and it is literally the place that will always stay with you, because everything is happening right there, and so you cannot walk away from it either. Even though you think that you live in the past, maybe with ideas that are circling around in your mind, still presence is right here. Or you can have fearful imaginings of the future, going straight into anxiety or fear. Still, presence is right here. Like you cannot distance yourself from this moment, from this now moment. And that's so good, that is so complete, and that is your certainty and security. It has an answer to every question that you have. It has a fulfillment for every need that you could possibly imagine. And it answers immediately. As soon as you open up for it, it answers immediately. It is continuously with you. It is your security, your safety. Everything else will fail. So in that, we come together, we spend time, we are reminding each other of the possibilities of this present moment that are so unlimited. They're timeless, unlimited, and they're so complete and whole that literally, if you would allow this moment to be what it is, like there could not be any discomfort. There could not be any lack of limitation. There could not be anything that you seem to miss out on. It's literally, that's literally impossible. Since this moment is the embodiment of the fulfillment. So here's communication. Now is communication. And that is happening within you. It is happening within you. It is just allowing, seeking first the kingdom. It is not anywhere else to be found. Seeking first the kingdom within is there, of course, because God created you perfectly, and God is like indistinguishable with your presence, with your now moment, with your presence, with your wholeness, like you're a whole part of what God is. Now this all I'm sharing with you, then it seems to be concepts I have about God or about your safety, but basically what am I inviting you in is this. We're entering into a healing moment with Joel Goldsmith, a healing moment in which he says during the meeting in the Incorporeal existence tape in 1957, he says, wait just a minute. This is a healing moment. Let's just be still now and meditate. And so I love it when Joel says that in the tapes. I love that because, hey, this is how sudden it is, how spontaneous it can be. Let's be still and meditate. Let's start right here. So that's what we're going to do. That's so great. So I'm bringing this up for us.
Now, this can take us right into our meditation for healing work. Let's close the eyes a moment. I and my Father are one. I live and move and have my being in God. I must be of the nature of God. There cannot be a material creation inside of a spiritual being. And I am in my Father, and my Father is in me. Can I be finite, limited? How can I be finite or limited if an infinite Father is within me? The Father within me, he doeth the works. How can a finite, limited being have an infinite God, infinite Father within himself? Therefore, I must be as spiritual as the Father that created me. All being must be spiritual. All he, she, it. All must be spiritual. The Father and me, I and the Father, you and me, and I and you, and the Father and both of us. A holy, completely spiritual creation. Into this creation, nothing finite can enter that defileth or maketh a lie. The only suffering that can be in this world is due to our looking around for a piece of material baggage, even expecting it to be in its right place. That is an error. There is no place for you or me or for any he, she, or it except in the only place where it's to be found, and that is omnipresence. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, I am. Where God is, I am. Where I am, God is, for we are one. The Father in me, and I in the Father. Omnipresence. The presence even of that which to human sense seems absent. Like seeing the cloudy sky and believing the sun is absent, when it's merely hidden. But it's there, omnipresent. So with us, the clouds of human belief, the density of human thought, can hide from us that which is omnipresent, that which is present where I am. What is it that's present where I am? All that the Father hath is mine right where I am. Integrity, loyalty, fidelity, eternality, immortality, justice, freedom, joy, harmony of any name or nature. All of this comes under the heading of omnipresence unless I finitize it and see it as a piece of baggage, something that occupies time and space.
Thank you so much for joining in the meditation. And so now we continue. So the incorporeal existence, that is the tape where this came from, which is wonderful to use as meditation. But why is that so wonderful? Because Joel reminds us of something that is real. It's like, whatever you do, don't look for the baggage that you park somewhere and suddenly seem to be lost. This was his story in the beginning of the tape, and you probably know this story. So, but he's referring to it in the tape just as an example of, in fact, the temporal existence. Like if you think you lost it and now something is wrong, then you walk around with a conflict, and you think that you need. First, something needs to be adjusted and put back in place before everything is all right again. While he, at the end of this episode, like the end of the story that he's telling, he's actually referring to when everything is all right, despite of whatever seemed to be occurring, now anything, like now it doesn't matter anymore whether this luggage is somewhere or not. Like I'm not going to miss that, because my completedness has nothing to do with this world. This is really what he teaches by using this example literally for the first half hour of his talk, which is really great because it's recognizable. You think things need to occur first before you can be at peace, and it is just the other way around. First, seek first the kingdom, not second. Seek first the kingdom, and like go within. There's the solution of all your problems, because literally you invite yourself to step into timelessness, to out of time, fourth dimension. So that's a great example. Now the expressions that I'm going to share with you are coming from the same tape, and you will hear them during the tape parts that we're going to listen to, like the second half of the tape. Just after he told the story, we continue with what Joel is saying. But I want to use some expressions to take a look at what Joel shares. So this is from the 1957 Second Holocaust Closed Class and tape 194A. Whatever there is of reality is incorporeal and spiritual and omnipresent. And whatever there is that appears as finite baggage or time and space must be an image in thought and can have no reality to it. And so I have been fooled into waiting for the baggage to turn up. Literally. So here it is. It's like he shares this. Whatever there is of reality is incorporeal. It's spiritual. It's omnipresent. And whatever there is that appears as finite baggage, space and time, must be an image in thought. Like literally, it is an image. It is not a reality. And it seems so real when something seems to be missing or something seems to be off. All right, the spiritual creation is an incorporeal creation, and the proof of that is that crops are in the ground before the seeds are planted. There's light before there's a sun in the sky, and so forth and so forth. So that's this great material to work with. Well, I speak as a poet. It's great material to work with. The crops are already in the ground before the seed is planted. In other words, what appears to be happening on the timeline, like yesterday I planted the seed, now it's growing. Oh, there's the rain, there's the sun. Oh yeah, here now the first crops are popping out of the, like the sprouts are coming out of the soil, and it's growing, and who knows, it gets a flower. And Joel says, no. This is already accomplished. Like the whole cycle is happening at the same time. There's no linear time. There's no succession in time. This is literally a trick of mind to think that there's a longevity or a timeline, or something happened yesterday and maybe something happens tomorrow. Now, literally, every step that you take, you root in time. You say like, oh, that was yesterday. Oh, yesterday I had such a blah blah. And 10 years ago, I would have done that 10 years ago, but I don't do that now. So in other words, you use time continuously to define yourself, to limit yourself. And don't tell me that you don't do it. I mean, this is really hard to be aware of, in the sense of you're so accustomed to place yourself in time because you believe that you're this, that you were born at a certain time, like 25 years ago, and now you grow up and now you're this adult, or you're going to be the grandma, or you're going to be who knows what. Like, all of this story, it's all story. It is no reality. It's images collected, rooted in time, to give it existence, to give yourself a space, literally to create an image of yourself. You use other images to complete yourself. Now you're familiar with this for sure, but it's interesting to hear Joel talk about it in something that was revealed to him while he was losing his luggage somewhere, or it seemed to have disappeared into thin air. And it wasn't. Now, so there are big lessons here, because specifically, why is suddenly the luggage gone? It doesn't matter why it's gone. It doesn't matter. There's no reason for it. Nobody needs to be guilty of it. It has nothing to do with the occurrence in you, with the completedness in you. It has no story at all. Because of the situation as you see it, the image that you see, it's like, oh, there's a hurricane coming. Now I need to protect myself. No, the hurricane already passed. It's gone. It's over. There's nothing going on. Or the electricity is gone. The power is out. Like, well, that can change in an instant too. Any prognosis or any idea that you could hold about it is already gone. The power was out, the power is on, power is out again, and the power is on. It really does not matter. Like, what matters is you recognizing, oh, wait a minute, I'm in this delusional system in which I fool myself continuously thinking that this is my reality. So I step out of that. In my awakening, I step out of it and say, like, no, none of these images can mean anything. I'm not going to be fooled this time by the mirage of time and space. And this is huge. This is a lesson that comes back every day, because you're triggered or you're distracted and you lose your focus. Like, no, there is nothing outside yourself, but you forget about it. You think there is really something that can do something to you, and you're the victim of it. There you go. Or you're chained by an idea that something needs to be accomplished first. I need to find my suitcases back before anything can happen. It's like, no. Forget about these suitcases. Everything is complete right here, right now. We just practiced that in meditation. Here's your fulfillment. It doesn't happen any other time. It's right here. It's right here. You can't lose it. There's not a possibility that you're not sustained by God's love. Since you are the extension of God's love, it is your only security and safety. Nothing else. So this is a great lesson, and this is the one lesson that we all go through. It is the one lesson. All conflict comes from the idea that something has been taken from you, or that you're losing out on something, or that you're not sustained, that you're separate from what everything is. Not so. It's impossible, because seek first the kingdom. God is within me. I and my Father are one. And that relationship is literally, you're not separable from your Father. It's impossible. God created you as a whole part of himself. So any idea that you step away from this principle, any idea that you get into your mind where you think something is lacking or limiting you or attacking you, has to be brought back to, hey, here I am. Nothing is going on. The whole idea of forgiveness can only be that I release the idea that I could be separate from what everything is. If God created me whole and perfect, I cannot be separate. I cannot be finite. None of these things. And we continue to be able to heal. And really, in order to be able to be healed, it should be clear to each one of us that we are never dealing with bodies or persons any more than we're dealing with lost baggage. What we're dealing with is the acceptance of this second chapter universe as if it were real. In other words, we're dealing with mental images in thought which we look upon as real, including the body, including you as a dreamer. Okay, so this is, now we're stepping it up. You can say we're stepping it up because it's not just what we just shared. It's not just like, okay, here's some luggage that I really think I need to find first before I can be happy. And now we go a step further. And the step is this, thinking that this is you in time and space. It's not so. This is an image too. This is an image. It can shift and change continuously, and it does. It is not solid. It is not stable. It is not fixed. No, it changes all the time. Only by you holding on to ideas, it appears to be solid and it appears to be static, you could say, or slowly moving into one direction. But that's only because your foundation of perception is based on a timeline where you are already 70, 80, 90, 100 years old, and now you should feel like this as you do. Like, none of that is so. None of this is so, because the timeline doesn't exist. There is no continuity in time. Now we're coming back to here, to the present moment. Like, there is no such thing as this body as you know it. Joel says the body is the temple of God, but not the body as you see it. The body is not physical. It is not literally. It isn't matter. It isn't physical in the human dense sense of thinking. It isn't. So to allow that to be changed is the same as not looking for your luggage, but first going within. And I know that we're practicing that too. We're praying for it, to experience that. And that's a wonderful thing to do. Like, you want to have the full experience of that you're not this. You're not a body. You are not this. So you must be something else. Now you can ask for that. Like, what am I? What is this? What am I truly? So this is what Joel brings in this expression that I just shared. So the body is an image too. Your dream is an image too. And so any idea you hold about this hologram or whatever you want to call it, a dream, this temporal existence, has no reality. It has no existence in reality. And you can only come to know that by entering into the present moment as we practiced in the beginning. Only then you can have different experiences that take you out of this construct. That is your awakening. That is your illumination, as Joel says. Like, it is your illumination. It's the enlightenment of your mind, recognizing its true source, no longer being fooled by appearances. So the nature of God is infinite, is illumined, is bright, is light, is not solid. It is not temporal. So it has nothing to do with time. But it's the only thing that is present. And it's you. Your integrity is a constituted part of your being. And it would make no difference if you mounted up to heaven. Your integrity would be with you. So let this sink in a little bit. Your integrity is a constituted part of your being, and it would make no difference if you would mount it up to heaven. Your integrity would be with you. Now, translating that to your experience of yourself, and this is what I share too, is like, here you are. You can't walk away from yourself. Whether you go up to the mountaintop, whether you go into the marketplace, whether you go into the hospital, whether you go into who knows where you go, you're still carrying your now with you. Your totality of being is with you. Literally, you can't walk away from yourself. Only in your dreams, only in your imagination can you be separate from what everything is. And that's what you do when you start to wonder in your mind, when you start to ask questions like, why this is happening to me, or is God putting me to a test, or who knows what, like I feel so guilty about this and that, or what happened yesterday is not so nice, or anything, any temporal occurrence literally is placing you into an illusory state, you can say. So here we are we are literally elevated out of that. Here's your reality. Like there's nothing holding you back from being with presence, because presence is within you. Seek within, seek the kingdom within, because that's where it is. Not for any other reason. Not to get things for the world. No. Seek first the kingdom and all the added things and its righteousness, and all the things will be added unto it. And the things are basically you coming into your conscious experience that there is no need, that every lack is already fulfilled. There is no such thing as a lack. It is whole, it is perfect. So I love this. This is great. It's great what Joel shares here today. I'm going to look for more. I'll read it one more time here. Your integrity is a constituted part of your being, and it would make no difference if you mounted up to heaven. Your integrity would be with you, like you cannot separate yourself from God. In your imagination it might look like that, but it isn't. So that's why the release of the forgiveness, you can say, the release of the things that you are thinking, the release of what isn't, needs to be there before you can enter into the full-blown experience of your beingness. Like an altar needs to be clean, and this is our practice. So the tapes that we're listening to, the meditation that we do, is a practice to literally take care of your backyard or household, so that your altar is clean, to receive this what is already yours, to see that there's nothing in the way of you, for you to have a complete experience of the love of God. And this is what we offer each other. What else do I want to give to you? And so is Joel. Joel is extending this message. He travels from Hawaii to South Africa. That's where he's talking about. He's talking about his traveling to South Africa. Then he leaves for who knows where he's going. It's like he keeps on traveling. And all this is included in his mission, you can say. Wherever he comes, he tells the same thing. Like, God is right here with you. You're safe. The healing that can take place is taking place in me. It doesn't need to take place in anyone else. I don't need to go anywhere for that healing to take place. I can go up to the mountaintop and meditate for 30 years, but I can also not do that and be right in the marketplace or in any place, exactly the place where you are right now, and you could have the same experience. And literally, you can't walk away from the truth of your being, and that's an incredibly comforting message. Not only that, it also will help you to stay in your peace. Where is it that you need to go? Where do you think you need to go? What do you think is going on? You think something outside of you is doing something with you? No. So, in fact, everything is coming back to confirm the integrity that you can never lose. So, well, let's hear what Joel has to share with us. Thank you so much.
No cause, no power, just shadows. If you like, you can call it the arm of flesh. Nothingness. Learn to be willing to face these thoughts. Now, some of them might be mighty sweet and you want to hold on to them. Don't do it. Sit back there and let them come and go. Some may disturb you. Some might be frightening. Let it. Let it. Remember, it's just thoughts. Just thought, nothing else. There isn't a revolver and a carload of them. There isn't an ounce of poison in them. There are no bombs in them. So don't fear them. They may testify to disease, they may testify to sin, they may testify to accident. They can get very frightening. Sit there and watch them come and go. And as you do, now take the next step with me. Realize to yourself, just think, there is neither good nor evil in what I'm beholding. They're just pictures without power. They can't do anything. They can't testify to anything. Neither good nor evil. And even if they seem to be good, they're not good because they're only pictures. You know, from this little experiment that we are doing here in this meditation, you can see why we have suffered. These pictures or thoughts have flooded into us, and we have become frightened of them and began to run away from them, or hide our head under the pillow, or try to block them out. And here they are, inoffensive nothingness, just shadows. Sometimes they represent theories, man-made theories. Somebody says if you eat meat on Friday, you're going to get awfully sick, going to be punished. And after that, the very taste of meat on Friday is enough to send you into a spasm. Somebody else says this is a holiday, a day of atonement, you can't eat anything. You know how you long for just a little bite, and there's your first guilt complex. And then if you should yield and eat a slice of bread and butter, there comes the conviction that you're under God's punishment and condemnation. And who made up these rules? They're man-made rules. They never had authority. They never had anything to do with man. Almost everything we fear is a man-made rule, man-made theory, and a man-made punishment is attached to it. So let's look at them. For this one testifies to infection and contagion. And this one testifies to false appetite. And this next one is a prophecy of disaster. This one is a fear of lack. But all they are, images and thought. Ah, yes, but here comes one. Somebody says it's cancer. That makes it terrible. Yes, it's a terrible name because it has awful connotations. But it's only a name. It's only a name that Adam gave to something that he didn't understand. It's an image and thought. Let's stop being afraid of these names. Let us stop being afraid of these diagnoses. Even if it's a picture on an X-ray machine, don't be afraid of it. It's still a picture. And it's a picture of mind's image. And when you haven't got it in mind anymore, you can't get a picture of it. You only get a picture of what's being held in mind. Let it come, let it go. If you can see it, hear it, taste it, touch it, or smell it, it's an activity of mind, a mental image, the arm of flesh, nothingness. Remember that all the time that we are saying this and thinking this, we're still in the mental realm. We're still in the realm of knowing the truth. But as we continue this, and this is perhaps the same process that you may go through in giving a treatment. As you keep on this way, looking right at the picture, realizing it is a picture, no substance, no cause. If you can see it, hear it, taste it, touch it, or smell it, it's a mental image of mind in nothingness. The second chapter of creation, that which God never made. We are not to fear what we can see, hear, taste, touch, and smell. Remember that regardless of how material the condition appears to be, it isn't any more material than my lost baggage. Did you see that it wasn't material? It was a mental image. And the realization of that revealed omnipresence. Sometimes in these experiences, such as we are having now, some people get a very beautiful response in the sense that they're apt to see pictures or visions. And then they make the mistake, first of all, of trying to hold on to them. And then they make a second mistake of wanting to bring them back at some future time. Never do that. Never hold on even to a beautiful image. Let it go. It's only an image. And if it's of God, God can give you as many more as you need. And if it's a bad picture, learn not to be afraid of it. It has no existence as externalized reality. A mental image, the arm of flesh, nothingness. And then you come to a place where we are, and it seems like there's nothing more to be said. And so we sit and we give one last word to it. Regardless of what you seem to be, you are neither good nor evil. No matter what you claim to be, you are neither good nor evil. There are no properties in you. All properties are in the consciousness that made this universe in its own image and likeness. Neither good nor evil in any form or effect. And then wait. When you achieve complete quietness and peace, mind isn't functioning. And that's when you have gone through the realm of mind and are in the atmosphere of spirit, of the soul. This is where you are receptive and responsive to whatever God imparts. As soon as you are unattached, as soon as you are detached from thought, from the hate, fear, or love of objects, so that they can float in front of your eyes with utmost indifference to you, that is when you are no longer in the realm of mind. You are now reaching, touching, or being touched by your own soul, which is God. God is the very soul of you. Speak, Lord, thy servant heareth. And when he utters his voice, the earth melts, all problems dissolve. And you're now in an atmosphere where, when God speaks, you can hear it. Now remember, someone has called you and presented a claim to you. They just become ill. And so here you are in meditation, and your first thought is, whatever its name or its nature, if it exists in time or space, it is a mental image, a nothingness. I do not have to fear it or fear for the person who's claiming it. It has no existence in their being, and as a mind existence, it is without form and void. I shall not fear what mortal conditions or mortal beliefs can do to me or anyone else. Yes, I'm looking right at you who phoned me. I'm looking right at the condition you mentioned, and I see it as a mental image. a shadow, a nothingness. You have no more good or evil in you than the picture on the moving picture screen. Substanceless shadow. Relax. Relax. I told some of our classes years ago about this story of a call that I received of a young married woman having her first child, and they had taken her to the delivery room at the hospital, and they found that it was a breech case, that the child was turned wrong end to. And they tried all they knew to turn that child around and get delivery. And they couldn't. And eventually, the nurse, one of the nurses, said that the pulse was dropping rapidly. And at that stage, the doctor asked one of the nurses in the room to step out and phone to me for help. And when that call came, very fortunately, I was in a high enough state of consciousness so that I did not deal with a mother or a baby. I was right there where I could realize that God is the only parent, and it is not corporeal, physical, material. And God's creation can't be or have anything wrong about it. And by the time that nurse got back to the delivery room, the baby had turned itself around without any help from any human hand and delivered itself. The next day, as witness to it, I had calls from the doctor and from the head of the hospital, the head nurse in the hospital, and one of the nurses in the delivery room. Now, there is nothing strange about the experience except that it testifies to what we have just been having in the way of treatment. That if we were dealing, as I was dealing in South Africa, with baggage that was going to return to me, it just wouldn't. And so in this case, if I had been dealing with a human mother and a human babe and human doctors, there would have been trouble. But fortunately, in that case, I was alert enough to the realization that we are not dealing with men or women in this life. We are dealing with God revealing itself as individual beings, God declaring itself. And anything then that we can see, hear, taste, touch, or smell becomes merely a mental image and thought. And with that recognition, we can drop it and then behold the reality. I've also told these experiences that came in those years when on several different occasions I had women come who had been told that they could not have families. There were medical reasons or physical reasons why they couldn't. And in just a few years there, I had 3 mothers, and one is still one of our students, with 3 children, after having definitely been told that there was no possibility of family. Now, all of this is in the same category. If we looked on men or women as creators, or if we looked on children as human beings occupying time and space, such healings, such experiences could not come about. There's only one way in which these things can come about, and that is through the realization of our true identity. We live and move and have our being in God. Now, in God there is no such thing as birth or death. In God there is infinity, eternality, immortality. And any picture that we see here, taste, touch, or smell, is the arm of flesh, nothingness, a mind creation, and so to be handled. There are a couple of questions here which I don't think I can answer, because they also go back to theological things. One is this, Luke, this is my body which is given for you, this do in remembrance of me. This cup is the New Testament in my blood which is shed for you. I don't know the meaning of those things because they have theological meanings of which I know nothing. And this, oh, wait a minute. Take heed that ye be not deceived, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ. Go ye not therefore after him. Well, that seems more simple, that the Master was merely warning about false teachings. Well, it is well to warn about false teachings, but it wouldn't be necessary to warn about them if we were just as eager to read other passages of Jesus as we are to read that one. He says very definitely, by their fruits ye shall know them. And so why worry about false teaching? The very moment a teaching is presented to you, investigate it and see what its fruitage is. Now, he also told you what fruitage to look for. The sick are healed, the dead are raised, the eyes have the blind have their eyes opened, the ears have their deaf ones stopped, to the poor the gospel is preached. All right, you've witnessed the whole ministry of Jesus Christ. You know what he did through the Christ. He healed the sick. He gave comfort. He fed the hungry. He preached forgiveness. He preached praying for the enemies. All these things are what we call true teachings, because they are Christ teachings. They are revealed to us by the Master Christian. So when a teaching is presented to you, you should need no help from anybody to determine whether it's a true teaching or not. Does it heal? Does it reform sinners? Does it improve one's lot in life? Does it bring harmony? Does it bring peace within? Does it change one's whole outlook on life to a more spiritual aspect? Does it turn one more and more away from materiality? That's all. That's all embodied in the Master's teaching. And if it does those things, it comes somewhere in the neighborhood of being a Christly teaching or spiritual teaching or correct teaching. If, however, it increases one's materiality and makes one seek for physical demonstrations, material demonstrations, if it doesn't lead to a higher, more elevated consciousness, if it doesn't lead to a greater inner purity, a greater abstention from the things of the world, then that's the answer. By their fruits ye shall know them. Yes, that leaves us with one note that I made myself. Students believe our work will banish their discords and replace them with physical or material harmony. And that is not the truth. The truth is that this teaching will banish almost as many physical and material harmonies as it will discords. Because the object of this teaching isn't to change evil into human good, but to reveal the true identity or omnipresence or Son of God, Christ. Now, throughout the Master's teaching, you'll find that principle there, that my kingdom is not of this world. Seek ye not what ye shall eat, or what ye shall drink, or wherewithal ye shall be clothed. The Christ message is, seek ye the kingdom of God. Oh, it's natural then that if you find the kingdom of God, that it will translate itself on this level as what we call harmonious living conditions. But that will only be incidental. That will be the added thing. What we will have gained is not merely the improved material things. We will have gained the consciousness, and out of that will come the added things. I have explained that this way. If it were possible for anyone to come into this room and give you instantaneously perfect health tonight, what do you think would happen tomorrow? You'd start right out developing some ill. Because whatever the state of consciousness that originally brought the ill is going to bring it back again. And isn't that what he said to the woman? I forgive you. There's no condemnation for you. But sin no more, lest the worst thing come upon you. So it is. If we were freed of all of our physical ailments and were left in the same state of consciousness that we are at this moment, either the same ailments or even worse could return to us. But if our state of consciousness were changed, then not only the ills that were now part of us would begin to disappear, but far less would ever return to us. I have explained it also with money. If each one of us at any given moment could receive the sum of money that to him or her would represent abundance, what particular good would it be, since almost instantly you would start depreciating it, spending it? Then where do you end up? Without it. What are you going to do now? Start all over again, making the demonstration brand new? Whereas, let's forget the object money. If we can attain the realization that our only need is God, the realization of the kingdom of God, by the time we attain it, we will find that the kingdom of God appears tangibly as our daily supply, and then it makes no difference how you spend it, give it away, throw it away. Each day it will renew itself. Why? Because God is infinite. You'll never come to the end of God. So you'll never come to the end of supply. But when you have money as something separate from God, then you have lost baggage. And you can find it one minute, lose it the next minute. Have a lot of it one minute and none of it the next minute. But when you have it as omnipresence, when you have it as the realization, the only baggage I can ever own is God. And it's the only baggage I ever want. I want to be clothed in God, fed in God, by God, with God. I want to realize that God is bread and wine and water. God is the substance of life. Therefore, all I need is God. And then when I attain even a measure of that, then you can be assured that God will be appearing day by day in whatever form of human experience is necessary. So it is for this reason that we say, thy grace is my sufficiency in all things. When we say it, however, we must mean it. We mustn't say, thy grace is sufficient to give me money, or thy grace is sufficient to give me health. No, no, no. Thy grace itself is the sufficiency. Then you'll find that when you have the grace, you have all things that come into our human awareness. Now we will have a nice little rest.
All right. Thank you so much. Listening to Joel together. So now it is like, okay, it is not just Joel having this opportunity here. It's not Joel doing great things here. It is you realizing this is you, what this is about. And this is the possibilities that are like right here, present with you in all your affairs. Now that is the big shift that is occurring in the training that we're doing, or in the process that we're in, the spiritual healing that is taking place as a transformation of consciousness. And yeah, that works just great. I'm really happy to see the changes that are occurring, the possibilities that are there. In fact, the more and more you go into this, the more it becomes clear this is just happening within me. It doesn't happen anywhere else. I can only realize this in my own consciousness. And that is incredible if you're aware of that. It is not depending on Joel. It is not depending on this great teacher or that great teacher. It's not depending on anything. It is just you taking time to let this be realized in you. And all the help is given to do that. So that's really lovely. Now, one of the parts to extend this, or to give this away, because that's the way to keep it. Like, you give this away in whatever form, in whatever way is given you to do that. That is perfectly all right. Now, for me, speaking for myself, because that's the only thing I can do in that sense. It's like the extension that takes place is me doing this meeting. Like, I love to facilitate this, to give this away, and give my whole heart to it. So tomorrow we start with something else too. That's the missing link recovered. That's a program also based on the teaching of the Infinite Way, but we use it in a different way, in the sense of making it very practical. In fact, it is almost like a renewal of how to meditate. How do you do this? Having practical exercises for anyone to step into getting into the practice of actually doing it. Like Joel is talking about grace, I want to experience that grace. Now, how do I get to that? This is one of the examples that we're looking at and practicing with. So that starts tomorrow. It doesn't start tomorrow. Tomorrow and on Thursday, we have 2 introduction meetings. So show up if you feel like it. Just it's the same time as it takes place as today, and like that's very easy to just see if it is something that could work for you. If you want to get back into meditation, or you know someone who really is looking for something like this, don't hesitate to transfer the message, so to speak. Yes, and so then on Wednesday we have an early meditation for Pacific time at 7 a.m. An early meditation called Pure Presence. This Pure Presence meditation is an I am declaration. We did this last week too on Friday. It is a piece of Joel from the art of the art of meditation, that is being used to come into I am expressions, I am declarations, you could say. I'm the source of life. I and my Father are one. But all these expressions are coming back, or are coming derived from the art of meditation. So if you feel like joining in that, come and take a look. On Wednesday we meet, say at 7 a.m. Pacific time, so that's 9 a.m. Central time. That is 4 p.m. Central European time, and so on. I cannot recall it for New Zealand just off the top of my head, but anyway, I'll let you know. And so this we repeat the weeks after. On Wednesday and on Friday we meditate. An early meditation, morning meditation for the ones from the US, since those are mostly the participants in this. So if this caught your attention and you think like, oh, I would love to join with that. The meditations are half an hour. The missing link, recovered meetings, the introduction is just 1 hour on tomorrow and on Thursday. So anyway, you got an email probably today if you're in the mailing list, and with more information. You can see it in the iwihub.com website. I'm just sharing this that you know there's a possibility to enter in and to participate. And the first 2 weeks it's just open, checking it out if this is something for you that you think is great to use now or to be part of. So, like I said, everyone gives this away in a very specific way. It doesn't necessarily involve doing, but it certainly is a realization or a consciousness of, hey, my source is infinite. I love to give it away. I love to extend this. And I'm doing that anyway. If there's something I can do, that's fine too. I can do that too. All right, so thank you so much for today, for this meeting that we share together, that we take time to really come into stillness and have Joel talk to us. So thank you for your presence, and I hope to see you next week, or maybe this week in one of the new meetings that are coming up. You're welcome to join. Thank you, and bye for now.